So today I want to talk to you about the importance of making sure that your clients don't speak whilst you are doing their lash treatment. Now there's probably going to be a lot of you that are thinking, oh my god, I always talk to my clients, they're my friends, we have a really good chat while she comes in for her lashes or he comes in for their lashes. And this might seem a little bit daunting to you, but there is a reason why I'm explaining what I am, because we have a real health and safety issue with our clients if we allow them to talk. Now the problem with talking on most clients is there are certain things that happen. Firstly, the pads can move. So when the client is talking, obviously their cheeks are going to be moving and it causes the pads to move. So if you sometimes find that some of the bottom lashes have become unstuck during the treatment and get stuck to the top lashes, it's because the pads have moved during the treatment, they've shifted and the lashes have become unstuck. So again, that's one reason why we shouldn't be allowing our clients to talk. The other reason as well is that when a client talks and the pads move, they can actually move backwards and start touching the eyeball. You've only got to look at what my fingertips are doing every time my cheek moves. They're actually moving backwards towards my eyeball. And if an under eye pad touches the eyeball, this is where you can get a bruise on the eyeball. And this is a very dark red line that you tend to get underneath the pupil area, and it is where that pad has touched the eyeball. Worse still, if you use tape, you can give somebody a paper cut on the eyeball by allowing them to talk. So really important. And if you have a client like me that has a big ugly round eye, you will find that this is a lot more common in this type of client. Because my eye is very round, the pads automatically want to sit near the base of my eye and want to touch. So again, another reason why you shouldn't be allowing your client to talk. One of the other main reasons is most people, when they talk, their eyes flicker. Their eyes flicker and their eyeball is exposed to the glue fumes. Now cyanoacrylate in our glue, he loves moisture. He will attach himself to anything that is moist. So when he sees a lovely, lovely moist eyeball, he wants to attach to that. So if the eye is opening ever so slightly every time that client talks, which normally happens, those cyanoacrylate fumes, not only from your glue down here, but from your glue that is already on the lashes, is going to go underneath the eyelid and attach to the eyeball. And that is when the client complains of like a red eye, like a pink into the whole eyeball. That is a chemical burn on the eyeball, and that is very, very painful. Now, overexposure to any product is actually going to lead to intolerances in the product. So if you've got a client that's always been exposed to the cyanoacrylate because she's talking, you could find that later on down the line she's going to develop an intolerance to the glue, and that will be the end of it. So you can really see the importance of not allowing our clients to talk. Firstly, it can cause the lashes to become unstuck. Secondly, you can get a bruise on the eyeball, so a very, very dark redness underneath, and that is actually really painful for a good couple of days. There's nothing that you can do about it, and it looks really quite ugly. It can look like a burst, like a blood vessel in the eye. And thirdly, fumes. Chemical burn on the eyeball. Again, it's going to look like a lot of pink across the eyeball. This is one of the reasons as well that I don't lash anybody before a special event. So if I've got somebody going on holiday, going to prom, getting married, I lash them at least 4 days before the event, because if anything was to happen like that, and it could happen to a client who's been having lashes absolutely fine, and then all of a sudden that one day something happens and she could get that. Imagine that client getting married the next day and having to have her wedding pictures done and she's got a big red eye. This is not good. So how do you tell your clients not to talk? Because you might think, oh my god, I'm going to sound like I'm really antisocial. I always say to my clients when they come in, look, when I lash my clients, I ask them not to talk. So once I've got the pads on, I've done all of your prep and I actually start lashing with the glue, I ask you not to talk. And the reason being is that when you talk, it causes the pads to shift and the lashes can become unstuck. Now obviously this is a public video and people are going to see this, but sometimes if you start explaining it to people about chemical burns and bruises to the eyeball, they actually can get really, really worried about it. And if us guys know what we're doing, there is no reason that we're going to actually cause this to our clients. But sometimes if you're explaining it immediately before a treatment and you haven't got time to go into it, it could frighten a client. So you have to be a little bit careful on what you're saying, because this doesn't always happen. It's very rare, but it can happen. So I will always say to them, look, don't talk, be because it can cause the pads to shift and the lashes can become unstuck. Also, most clients are probably women. They're busy women with probably families. If you give that client just 2 hours out of her day just to lay there and relax, how nice is it for that woman just to lay there, maybe have a sleep, just a little bit of her time or his time, and then wake up with beautiful lashes. I know it sounds antisocial, but this is how I run my business, and touch wood, I never have a problem with any of these issues whatsoever. So it is something for you to consider. There is one client that I lash, Sophie, she's been with me a long time. She can actually talk without her eyes flickering, but I think she is the only one that I've got, and any new clients that come in, those are my rules. Also, I am very good at multitasking, but I find that I lash my best when I'm not having to concentrate on holding a conversation with a client. Because unless she's my friend and I've got things to talk about, sometimes it is difficult to hold a conversation with somebody. So for me, I always focus better, concentrate better when I'm left alone to just totally get into the zone and focus on the job that I've got in hand. So really, really important, guys, that we do no talking policy when we're lashing our clients.